So it's my third day in Spain, and the shambles that my life was in yesterday have now shattered into 1,000 pieces and then been shaken all over the place. And that is my life now.
Okay, so maybe that's a little dramatic. Let's start from the beginning. That's me and my 2 beige cousins. And this is 2013, the beginning of my travel story. I packed my bags in September and I moved to Spain. I went to southern Spain and Malaga, and the beginning was a little rough.
So today officially sucks. It is about 1 o'clock. I've eaten Cheetos and drank some water. I'm like close to tears because y'all know I'm an emotional wreck, but I'm trying to fight it back. Getting my friggin' NIE is gonna be the biggest pain in my ass. And then after the siesta, I will venture back out into the world and try to find an apartment.
And I did. It was small and not that special, but I started work the next week, and the best part about my school, this was 2 blocks away. I started exploring the city more, found cool cafes, and this weird habit I have now where I try orange soda in every country. Plus, I made a cool bartender friend. I had the greatest roommate, and I even managed to fit in a trip to Barcelona, but I only have this video to show for it.
We're really about to get hit. We're really about to get hit. Okay, so we've come up with a new philosophy in life, and it's WWDD.
I had to move apartments right when I got back from Barcelona because my landlord was crazy. My new apartment had a balcony, but it had really shitty roommates, so I made it a point to try to find the best things in the city to occupy my time. I even took a quick trip to Granada to try to get my mind off of things, and went to the aquarium. But no matter what I did, I still couldn't find a friend group that really fit me, and I felt kind of isolated until the holidays came around and my family came to visit. We went to Cordoba and played this really weird game where we put my niece's American Girl doll in the most strange places, but traveling with them really helped me.
You're fine. You're already up there. Yep. You're already up there. It's over. Like, it's half the battle.
It was the reminder I needed that I was fearless and kick-ass, and so even though Tangier sucked, I booked myself a ticket to Rome solo. It was the start of summer always, and I didn't even realize it. Rome was a really great trip, lots of fun, met some cool people, and I got humped at the Vatican. Yeah, don't ask. I went into overdrive mode with private lessons when I got back to Spain, and then I was off again to Istanbul. I went in February, which is off season, so it was cold and rainy, but I absolutely loved it. Great food, great people, great prices. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And I'm a huge history buff, so seeing the Hagia Sophia, priceless. After Istanbul, I went back to Spain for a minute, and then I was off again to Brussels to see this lovely lady. It was really great to have a personal tour guide, and we had a lot of fun and a lot of little baby boy penises. I don't get it, but the only mistake I made is when I left Brussels, I hopped on a train and I went to the Netherlands. It was a terrible trip, so just look at this takeout food I got and let's skip right over it. When I got back to Spain, I was really enjoying all my Spanish friends, and it was Semana Santa, lots of tronos, lots of processions, and one of my friends was actually playing in a band. But after a few days of that, it got really boring, so I hopped on a bus and went to Faro, Portugal, and met this lovely Aussie. And even though I should have been enjoying myself in the sun on the beach in this beautiful place, I wasn't. To be here in this place that is probably one of the most beautiful, serene places I've been in my life, and to be alone, it's kind of sad. At this point, I knew I should have left Europe, but I didn't listen. I went back to Malaga, finished out the school year, enjoyed my summer, and then moved to Barcelona to be an au pair and reunited with this lovely lady.
So what are you doing with this video?
I don't know. I like to document my life.
Lots of booze, lots of weight gain, some tourist stuff, some more friends, and before you knew it, I was moving back to Malaga, and in my head, the answer to my problems was to have a studio apartment by myself. I got to watch the procession Feria from my window, and then it was back home for a visit.
Should I open it now?
Yeah.
Hi, Mommy. Surprise, Mom! Got to see my baby girls, my friends, and it was all good for a little bit. And then it was back to Spain, and even though I tried to make Spain work, it didn't. By December, I left. I made it home for Christmas, got to see the things that matter, some people I don't get to see very often, and my friends. But the whole time I had an ulterior motive. I knew I was moving abroad again, this time to Korea. Now, Korea is pretty easy to sum up because I hated it in the beginning. And then one day, literally in the middle of the night, I moved apartments and everything started looking up. I met someone that I connected with so well, started going to baseball games, and even found a little bit of home far away. I started enjoying Korean food, and before I knew it, it was my birthday. I had a really good time, and from the before and the after, you know what kind of birthday it was. But y'all know I got bit by the travel bug, so I packed my little backpack and I was off again, this time to Thailand. Now I've got to be honest, Thailand is not my favorite place that I've ever been to, but I tried to make the best of it, even the weird stuff. I escaped away to a little private island, got to get some sun, enjoyed a private beach, and got to see some cool old ruins. I went back to Korea and it kind of just blurred together into fall, and before I knew it, it was the holidays.
잠잘 때나 일어날 때 짜증날 때 장난할 때도 산타 할아버지는 모든 것을 알고 계신데.
Yeah, the holidays in Korea. But not everything was foreign and weird. Some things were familiar and great.
But we have friends we can share and enjoy time with.
That is so beautiful.
And I'm really glad for that.
I'm glad.
So
I'm glad too.
Okay.
So bless us, the Lord, for these gifts that you're about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. Merry Christmas, baby Renaissance Jesus.
You gotta love Jimmy. For the new year, I flew off to Vietnam and I partied the night away. Had my first meal, which was hot pot with a cool Canadian. And this is where I officially decided that I knew I wanted to blog. Thought I wanted to be a travel blogger and I quickly learned I didn't, but Vietnam taught me I had a voice and I was pretty freaking interesting and I should probably put it out there into the world. I got to see some cool history because you know I'm a war buff. And I think for the first time in a while, I was happy and relaxed. And I held my own drinking against Australians, so you know your girl was proud. I hopped on a plane and I went to Hoi An, which is a smaller beach town. Really chill, beautiful beach, cows, good food, and fresh fruit. And then it was back to Korea. Now, one of my closest friends left Korea in February, and after she left, things were never quite the same. I mean, I still had really great friends to lean on, but the most exciting thing that happened in those few months were me running my third 10K and discovering how much I loved rosé. So let's skip ahead to my birthday. Another birthday in Korea, partying in Seoul, finally got to go to the Poop Cafe that I've always wanted to go to. And then I was off to Japan. Now, Japan was a really cool trip. I got to go to this art museum and see all types of cool stuff. I did a lot of traditional things, but it was another semi-solo trip, and I just wasn't really into it. I let me being alone scare me. I will say, though, one cool fun fact is that I actually got to tour an active U.S. warship. Unfortunately, it was the same warship that crashed earlier this summer. By the time I left Japan, I only had a few more weeks left in Korea, so I made sure to squeeze in everything I had ever wanted to do. Trip to Busan, lots of makgeolli, a few more baseball games, Harry Potter cafes, Wingardium Leviosa, amazing hikes with some amazing people in the early hours of the morning. So this actually kind of feels like what I think it's going to be like when I walk to the gates of heaven. I feel like it's going to be foggy, I'm going to be the only one, like, oh, all y'all just went to hell. Sorry, I'm saved. Few trips to the night market. Lots of food and drinks. And then it was time to go. I said my goodbyes, I drank my shots, and then I boarded a plane to end 3 years of travel and go back home. Well, first I made a stop in San Francisco, took some pics with the Golden Gate Bridge, paid way too much for dinner, and then I boarded another plane. And that's how I ended my 3 years of travel abroad.